Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, titled Sankhya Yoga or Contents of Gita Summarized. If chapter 1 showed us Arjuna's emotional breakdown, chapter 2 is where Krishna begins to guide him and us with timeless wisdom. This chapter is truly the heart of the Gita. It's often said, if you understand chapter 2, you've understood the essence of entire Gita. In fact, Krishna could have ended his message right here after this chapter. But only because Arjuna keeps asking further questions do we get the rest of the 16 chapters. So in many ways, chapter 2 is a mini Gita covering key themes like nature of the soul, role of a guru, how to perform our duties, and the state of a self-realized person. Let's now dive into this foundational chapter and uncover the life-changing wisdom it holds. At the end of the chapter 1, we saw Arjuna, the mighty warrior, completely broke down. He puts his Gandhi bow down and says, Govindai, I will not fight. He's overwhelmed with sorrow, confusion, and fear. Now in chapter 2, something important happens. Arjuna surrenders, not as a friend anymore, but as a disciple. And with that humble submission, the door to divine wisdom opens. This chapter marks a shift from emotion to instruction, from despair to direction. Krishna now speaks from verse 2. For the very first time in the Gita, he is formally introduced with a powerful phrase. That phrase is Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Lord said. And that is something I would like to explore. Who is Bhagavan? Why is Krishna called by this specific term? And what does it tell us about the nature of his teaching? Let's now dive deeper into this term Bhagavan and discover the divine authority behind Krishna's words. In 2.11, Krishna begins his teaching, which I mentioned, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. What is Bhagavan? Bhagavan comprises of two words, Bhaga and Van. You may have heard Dhanavan, someone who possesses dhan. Gunavan, someone who possesses all the guns, qualities. So Bhagavan means someone who possesses the bhaga. So what is bhag? Bhag means who possesses all opulences in full, unlimited and simultaneously. So what are those 6 opulences? Beauty, number 1. Unmatched, ever attractive beauty that captivates all being. We know Krishna does that, right? Knowledge, perfect, complete, and beyond material understanding. Fame, eternal glory, and renown across all worlds. He is. Wealth, all riches in creation belongs to him. Strength, infinite power, physical and spiritual. Renunciation, despite having everything, he's totally detached. All of us might possess a tiny portion of 1 or 2 of these qualities. Even that make us feel proud. But Krishna has all 6 in absolute infinite measure. Infinite measure. That is why he's called Bhagavan, the only one truly qualified to instruct Arjuna, and by extension, all of us. So when Gita says Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, it's not just anyone speaking, it's the Supreme Lord, complete in every way, giving us perfect guidance. So now in scripture, do we see this phrase and used for anyone else? For example, when we use the term Shiva, in scriptures it's used the word Shri Rudra Uvacha. And for Brahma, it used Shri Brahma Uvacha. But only Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan, the complete and original manifestation of God. And this understanding is also beautifully explained in Srimad Bhagavatam as well. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabhyate. It means the wise who knows the absolute truth describe it in three ways: Brahman, Paramatma, and as Bhagavan. Let's break this down. What is Brahman? Brahman is the impersonal, formless aspect of God. It's like brilliant light or effulgence that come from Lord's body. Many spiritual seekers stop here, meditating on the divine light, thinking it is the highest truth, but it's the only beginning. Next one is Paramatma. It's a localized aspect of God, the Lord who resides in the heart of every living being as our personal witness and guide. He walks with us through every life and every choice. And then we move on to third one, Bhagavan, the complete and the most intimate form of God, the supreme personality who has both form and personality, who speaks, loves, plays, and engages with us, with his devotees. This is Krishna. This is the Bhagavan who's speaking the Gita. So while Brahman and Paramatma are true, Bhagavan is the highest realization. He encompasses the other two and goes beyond. Just like sun's rays, Brahman, sun in the sky is Paramatma, and the sun god himself is Bhagavan, the source of it all. That is why Krishna, only Krishna, is called Sri Bhagavan, the full and the complete manifestation of absolute truth. Let me share a fascinating story, one that brings out the heart of what truly makes someone great and helps us understand the uniqueness of Bhagavan. Once upon a time, a group of sages gathered to settle a divine debate. Who amongst the Tridevs, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, is the greatest? After much discussion, they appointed a great sage, Bhrigu Muni, Bhrigu Rishi, to find the answer. Bhrigu was hesitant at first. After all, how do you test the supreme? But with the encouragement, he devised a brilliant and bold plan. He would provoke them. And here comes the deep truth that Srila Prabhupada beautifully explains. The greatness of a person is tested by their ability to tolerate provoking situations. So let's see. Each of these Tridevs responded to Bhrigu's test. First, Bhrigu went to Lord Brahma, his father. He entered Brahma's abode, but purposely did not pay any respects. Brahma noticed, and although he stayed silent, his eyes revealed his anger. Result: Brahma failed the test, provoked mentally. Next, Bhrigu went to Lord Shiva, his brother. Shiva was overjoyed and rushed forward to embrace him. Bhrigu stepped back and said, "Don't touch me. Your body is covered in ashes." This is a verbal insult. And Shiva, enraged, lifted his trident to strike Bhrigu, only to be stopped by Parvati Mata. Result: Shiva too was provoked. But finally, Shiva reached Vaikuntha, where Lord Vishnu resting with Lakshmi Devi. Bhrigu went straight up and, believe it or not, kicked Vishnu on the chest. This was the highest level of offense, physical. But what did Lord Vishnu do? He stood up gently, bowed to the sage and said, "Oh Bhrigu, I'm so sorry. My chest is so hard and your lotus feet must be hurt. Please let me massage them." Bhrigu was stunned. No anger, no pride, just compassion. In that moment, Bhrigu realized this is supreme. This is Bhagavan. So what did we learn? What did we learn from this story? In life, we too will be provoked by bullies, by critics, even by family or colleagues. People will poke at our weakness, waiting for a reaction. But true strength lies not in reacting, but in remaining steady. Like a tortoise that pulls its limbs inwards, we too must draw within, into the protective shell of satsang, the spiritual association, and self-talk, the inner strength. The story of Bhrigu Rishi reminds us the most powerful is not the one who strikes back, but the one who shows mercy. That is why Vishnu is called Bhagavan, the possessor of all opulences, including the greatest one, compassion. So, to help us remember and absorb the teaching of chapter 2, we will use a simple, powerful acronym, Gita. Each letter stands for a distinct section of the chapter. G, Guru, is from verse 1 to 10. Arjuna accepts Krishna as his spiritual master, laying the foundation for divine instruction. I, identity, verse 11 to 30. Krishna reveals the eternal nature of the soul and that we are not a body but a spirit. Two duties, verse 31 to 53. Krishna explains the both external duty in the world and internal duty of spiritual elevation. And the T, Atmaram, verse 54 to 72. Krishna describes the characteristics of a self-realized soul, one who is truly at peace. This acronym Gita not only summarizes the chapter but also reminds us the entire philosophy is a call to live the Gita. So let's explore each of these sections in detail. Guru. In this section, Krishna opens up with Arjuna in a state of a deep emotional turmoil. This mighty warrior, who once stood tall and confident, is now broken, confused, and paralyzed by doubt. He can't bring himself to fight. His thoughts are clouded, and hurt. His heart is heavy with sorrow. He says, like this, how can I shoot arrows at Bhishma and Drona? I should be offering flowers at their feet. He even goes to the extent of saying, it's better I give up everything, live a life of a begging. At this point, Arjuna doesn't know what is right anymore. Should he fight or should he walk away? But this very confusion leads to a powerful turning point. Instead of pretending to have all the answers, Arjuna admits, I don't know. He bows down and surrenders to Krishna, not as a friend anymore, but as a disciple. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. I am your disciple. I am surrendered to you. Please instruct me. This moment of surrender, this simple but profound declaration is where true transformation begins. Krishna doesn't immediately give a deep philosophical answer. First, he challenges Arjuna's weakness, urging him to rise above fear and emotion and take shelter of his real identity. And that's our first big lesson. Even the strongest among us need guidance. The real learning starts not with pride, but with humility. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us that one must approach a guru, someone more enlightened, but with an open heart and sincere desire to learn. But the moment we think, I already know everything, learning ends. But the moment we admit, I don't know, the door to wisdom opens. Let's always remember this golden principle. Let failure never go to your heart. It leads to depression. Let success never go to your head. It leads to ego. Arjuna's humility, surrender, and faith marks the beginning of this transformation, and ours too. Now, having surrendered, Arjuna is ready to receive the timeless wisdom, and Krishna is ready to reveal it. Let's move on to the next section, identity, where Krishna is going to begin this. So, after Arjuna surrenders and accepts Krishna as his guru, Krishna begins his divine teaching, and he starts with the most fundamental truth of all, our identity. Krishna explains that we are not a body, but an eternal soul, the Atman. The soul is indestructible, unchanging, and everlasting. Nashto vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. That which is unreal has no endurance, and that which is real never ceases to be. Then comes one of the most famous analogies of 2.13. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaran yauvanjara. Just as the embodied soul passes through childhood to youth to old age, similarly it passes into another body at death. This means the body keeps changing, but you, the soul, remain the same. Just like we change clothes, we also change bodies, but our real self continues to exist. In fact, Krishna says the soul cannot be cut by a weapon, burnt by fire, drenched by water, or dried by the wind. It is beyond all material influence. This is where Krishna begins countering Arjuna's first excuse from chapter 1. How can I kill my own people? Krishna says, you are not killing anyone. You are simply engaging in your duty. The soul cannot be killed. This section of chapter 2 is called Sankhya Yoga, the yoga of analytical knowledge, which helps us understand the difference between the body and soul. So what does this mean for us? I'm not this temporary body. I'm eternal soul, part and parcel of Krishna. Understanding this brings clarity, courage, and compassion. This knowledge transforms how we see death, pain, and loss. When we know we are a soul, we stop living in fear and start acting with purpose. Let's go deeper into these 9 amazing qualities of the soul that Krishna reveals. And these 9 qualities of the soul, and I'm going to explain each with a powerful lesson as well. So let's explore this one by one. Number 1, individuality. Nitya. The soul is individual and unique. Just like no 2 fingerprints are the same, no 2 souls are the same. We all have our own strength, weakness, and talents. Krishna tells Arjuna, you, me, and all of us existed in the past, we exist now, and we will continue to exist in the future. Even after death, the soul doesn't dissolve. It retains its individuality. This teaches us to honor our uniqueness and embrace others' uniqueness too. Second one, indestructible, avinashi. No weapon can cut the soul. No fire can burn it, no water can moisten it, and no wind can dry it. Nothing material can touch the soul. This leads to fearlessness. Why are we afraid? Because we think we are a body, but we understood. But when we understood we are not a body, we are soul, fear disappears. Third one is eternal, sanatan. The soul never dies. The body changes, childhood, youth, old age, death, but the soul continues. But our time here is limited. So don't just care about the body, take care of the soul. Live with spiritual purpose so you don't have to come back in another body. Number 4, immovable, achalaha. The soul cannot be shaken or moved. Unlike the body, it's not affected by storms of life, success, failure, praise, or criticism. Understanding this helps us develop determination and inner stability. We become resilient in the face of adversity. Number 5, immeasurable, apramaya. The soul is so tiny it cannot be measured. Scripture says if you cut a tip of a hair into 100 parts and then cut one of those into 100 more, so the soul is 1 of 10,000th tip of a hair. Though small, the soul animates the entire body. This reminds us of our significance materially, which leads to humility. Even Krishna, by lifting Govardhan Dale, taught Indra that ego has no place before truth. Number 6, all-pervading, sarvagataha. Souls are everywhere. Not just in humans, but in animals, plants, insects, even bacteria. Right now, where you're sitting in your room, where you're in, you think there's only one soul? You're wrong. There are millions of living entities. This awareness gives us rise to compassion. Some people are vegetarian in their diet, but violent in their speech. True non-violence is not just in food. It must be emotional, verbal, and spiritual too. Number 7, unchangeable, avaya. The body changes, society changes, technology changes, but the soul never changes. We often fear change because it brings insecurity, but the soul is that one unchanging anchor within us. This knowledge gives us stability in the changing world. The lesson? Change comes from within, not from clinging into external. Number 8, invisible, adrishya. The soul cannot be seen with naked eye or even a microscope. Srila Prabhupada once said, MIT has many departments for everything, but where's the department to study the MIT, Almighty, MINT, Almighty? The soul invisibility remind us that faith is essential. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it isn't real. And then the last one is inconceivable, achintya. The soul and ultimately God cannot be grasped by material senses or logic. Only through purification and spiritual practice one can experience the soul and realize Krishna. This gives us the motivation to purify, to strive sincerely on the spiritual path. So these 9 qualities not only describe who we truly are, but each one comes with a powerful lesson, from individuality to humility, from fearlessness to compassion, from stability to purification. And when we live in awareness of these truths, our life becomes more powerful, peaceful, and purposeful. So let's move to my next slide, where we're going to explore these qualities and lessons we learn. So let's look at each one of them. Individuality, which teaches us stop comparing. You are one of a kind. You have one of a kind spark. Cooperate, don't compete. Number 2, indestructible. Avinashi teaches us fearlessness. No sword, flame, flood, or wind can touch the real you. Number 3, eternal. Sanatana. It gives us hope. Develop hope. Separation is temporary. Relationships centered on Krishna are forever. Immovable. Achala. It gives us determination. Plug into the soul's steadiness and refuse to give up. Immeasurable. Gives us humility and gratitude. Life is what's our identity is 1/10,000th of a hair tip, yet empowered by God. Number 6, all-pervading sarvagataha. We're conscious of this. Teaches us be conscious. Give us be lesson is universal respect. Life is everywhere on a plate. on the plate, in the air, in every being. Unchangeable, avayam, freedom from anxiety, amid constant change, anchor in what never changes within. And number 8, invisible, adrishya, it gives us faith. We trust oxygen through unseen. The soul deserves the same credit. Inconceivable, achintaya, it gives us impetus for purification. Only refined spiritual senses can perceive higher truth. So this is like a one slide, but 9 takeaways. Know the soul, change the lens, and change the life. Now let's move on to our next section, 2 duties. We've covered G and I. Now we're on to T, 2 duties. After helping Arjuna understand that he's not a body, but an internal soul, Krishna brings the conversation back to something very practical, dharma or duty. He says, Arjuna, you are a warrior. Your swadharma, your personal social duty is to protect righteousness. Walking away from battlefield now would be failure to your role. Sarvadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. Better to die in your own duty than to succeed in others. But here's the deeper truth Krishna reveals. Real duty isn't just about action, it's about intention. Krishna introduces the concept of buddhi yoga, using intelligence to act without attachment. And this becomes the heart of karma yoga, doing your duty as an offering to God, not as a personal gain. Karmanneva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have the right to perform your duty, but not the result of your actions. So what are the 2 duties? Swadharam and Sanatan Dharam. Swadharam, our responsibility as a student, as a parent, as a friend, leader, playing our part in society with integrity. Sanatan Dharam, the eternal spiritual responsibility of purifying our heart, connecting with Krishna, and acting selflessly. And when both of these are aligned, we do the right thing with the right consciousness. That's when the life becomes peaceful, purposeful, and powerful. Now let's move on to our next section, the state of Atmaram, the truly realized soul. Now Krishna asks a profound question, one that we all might ask. Sthit pragnya ka bhasha samadhistha se Keshava. O Krishna, how does a self-realized person speak, walk, and live? In reply, Krishna beautifully described the Atmaram, the soul who delights within, not dependent on world outside. Who is Atmaram? Someone who remains calm in happiness and distress, who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, who is satisfied from within, not running after external pleasures, who controls their senses, just like a tortoise withdraws its limbs when danger appears. Yada sangharte chayam kurmo naganiva sarvasha. Like a tortoise withdrawing his limb, the wise withdraws his senses. Krishna gives us a poetic image, the ocean. Rivers of desires may flow into it, but ocean stays full and undisturbed. That's Atmaram. Not suppressing desires, but transcending them through a higher taste. The joy of connection with Krishna. Such a soul does not crave or lament, doesn't chase or resist, is peaceful, steady, and full of divine consciousness. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Parth Nainam Prape Vimuh Vimuhati. This is a divine state, O Arjuna. Reaching this one is never bewildered. The lesson: we don't have to live in the Himalayas to be peaceful. We simply need to go inward and our shift our identity from body to the soul, from desire to devotion. That is the life of Atmaram, and that is what Krishna wants each of us to become. So we have completed chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Sankhya Yoga, the foundation of Krishna's entire spiritual message. This chapter was like spiritual bird eye view, giving us glimpse into the depth of Gita's teaching. We saw Arjuna's moment of surrender as he finally admits, I don't know what to do, I need a guru. Krishna responds not just with motivation, but with wisdom that transcends time. He reveals the true nature of the soul, eternal, unchanging, never born and never dying. We also explored the path of Karam Yoga, doing your duty without attached to the results, the qualities of the Sthit Praganya, who is steady, peaceful, and undisturbed by life's up and down. This chapter is like spiritual GPS. It shows us where we are, lost in confusion and fear, where we need to go towards clarity and self-realization, and how to get there by practicing selfless action guided by inner wisdom. So let's pause and reflect. What is my true duty? Where do I seek happiness? Is it lasting or temporary? How can I become wise while living in the changing world? And as we conclude, I invite you to ask yourself just one question. What's one teaching from this chapter that I can apply in my life starting today? Leave a comment for me. Leave a comment below. Well, next week, chapter 3 will cover Karam Yoga, where we move from philosophy to practice. Krishna will teach us how to live this wisdom through our work, our relationship, and our responsibilities. So see you all next week as we dive into the path of selfless action. Hare Krishna.